Welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2, the European Shopify ESL Pro Tour Open Cup Finals. I'm sorry, the Big Gabe Weekly Finals, number 75. The man, the myth, the behemoth himself. In the bottom right, sponsored by Mouse Sports for over half of Rainer's lifetime. Since 2010, the German Terran. It is Hero! No, not that one. Heromarine! The biggest of all Gabes. Destroying all the Protoss to make it here. And challenging him for his title and his continued reign on the other side. The Polish Zerg. Known for his overlords. At least he made a name for himself somehow. His overlords, his timings. Just, unfortunately, when Cyril and Rainer are in your region, it's hard to make a name for yourself. But he's carved out his place. We'll see how much further he can get. It's Elazer. We're starting on Blackburn, my favorite of the map pool. Pro players not huge fans of any map that isn't essentially Overgrowth 3.8. There's a whole... The Team Liquid map contest, well, I mean, by the time you're watching this in 2024, when I have 10 million subscribers and liking and subscribing is done via your brain, then maybe it's different, but new map contest coming up. I'm excited to see what people are going to come up with. But this was the winner of Team Liquid Map Contest, I want to say 14, and has made for some of the most interesting games. Partially because it forces players a little out of their comfort zone. You can't just do the exact same style. You're always going to have the Reaper, and unless it's Clem, it's probably not going to kill anything but a Zergling or two. Well, speaking of out of the comfort zone, Heromarine, Big Gabe has slapped down a bunker at Elazer's third, and also built a second Reaper. Elazer has taken the gold, which I was getting to when I was so rudely interrupted by the creative builds I was speaking of. This is something like, occasionally players will try to block the third. Rarely will they commit multiple Reapers to it. So, Big Gabe, he obviously there's no third. Or is there? He hasn't yet scouted the gold. Will he check around? It would be a severe dereliction of duty not to check the gold. That is an obvious play. But if he doesn't actually notice, now it's almost implied. I don't know if he saw the drone go out. The Reaper's still dueling with the Queens. One of them bruised. He wants to try to snipe the creep tumors. It's a whole mind game right now. Elazer can't be 100% sure that Heromarine doesn't know about the third, but at the same time, Heromarine, it's imperfect information is where we are now, which doesn't happen that often in this matchup between Overlords and just the general scouting potential of Reapers. I have no idea what we do now. I can no longer fall back to my caster playbook because this is something pretty new. It's a 1-1-3. Oh, wait, no. 3-1-1. 3-2-1. That's 3-2-1-1. I made it there. 3 command centers, 2 barracks, a factory, and a starport from Heromarine to follow up this bit of aggression. The Hellions are gonna... Well, they found the gold. And they're going to work with the mineral line, which neither side, the Queens will angrily spit their knitting needles across the tops of the minerals, and Heromarine will try to burn the drones through them. But guess what? That's not the real danger. The real danger are the dozens of roaches, lings, and ravagers on the way across. Elazer going to try to break the front, but Heromarine has already sussed this out. And he has a tank on the high ground, but one tank might not be enough to stop this. He agrees. He's going to move back and go for more. The Ravagers trying to break through. Reapers and Hellions at the back, cutting off reinforcements, but he missed! He missed! He missed the shot! The tank gonna get 2 or 3 extra hits. Oh, the corrosive bliles missed the mark. That's a lot of extra damage to take, though Heromarine's still blindsided by this. Remember, Elazer has a gold base he can fall back to. Even if he doesn't, well, his drone count's fine. Heromarine, because of the delayed kill on the tank, I don't think Heromarine dies here. This might have been a deadly push, especially with this super depot. That's worth 2 supply depots and some of that orbital energy. It looks like Big Gabe will survive, mostly because the tank was able to get a little extra damage. But, of course, at what cost? There's no engineering bays for upgrades. There are 3 orbitals, but only 1 gas is currently mining. The orbital getting a little pat on the shoulder, reminding him that roaches and ravagers still exist. A single medevac drop of stim marines heading out. There aren't too many things going for Heromarine here. He needs to get damage done with this medevac, though I'm not sure how. Elazer's going to be stuck on a low-tech unit composition. He's got a layer on the... Brenda! We didn't build many queens. We were doing a roach island. Stop complaining, Karen. The Marines, the Hero Marines, need to save the day. The positioning potentially between the spawning pool and the lair. He's targeting down drones. Drops on the queen. Dunks with the Marines. More queens coming up. The lack of creep is pretty painful. He has to claw his way back. And remember, this army composition out of Elazer, he's not going to have much potential to attack again, so he decides to just use his map control in other ways, like expanding to his entire half of the map. Elazer taking not just a 4th, but a 5th base. Heromarine working 5 Marines and a medevac for everything he can get. Elazer gonna go with the quality, or the quantity over quality approach, whereas Heromarine is forced into the opposite. He does have 3 racks going on 5. He does have 3 orbitals. Big Gabe, well known for both his massive size and macro potential. It is by no means over, partially thanks to just that little bit off on the biles. A Terran with 3 orbital commands is never dead. The income, heavily in favor of Elazer after the aggression, but mules are quite a thing. And the thing about taking the gold base early is it does mine out. Not like it only 40% more quickly, but it does mine out pretty quick if it's your 3rd. Get that ultra. Get the ultra out of there. Unfortunately, that glass is made out of unobtainium. Meanwhile, double drop in the main. The big weakness of this unit composition, a lack of anti-air and relative lack of mobility. Because if you split your units a little too thinly, then the Terrans can pick them apart. Hive is on the way, though. Elazer bringing his hammer to bear. He's got, right now, 120 army supply to just 55. He's got +1/+1 against 0/0. And he's got a limited time before Heromarine actually has a reasonable army to deal with this. 2 tanks, just gone. The 3rd one at the back. The Marines stand alone, and now Elazer claims victory. Not this time. Elazer hits him hard and fast. And it's incredibly difficult to recover. A good game 1 at Elazer. You don't really want to play a drawn-out macro game as a Zerg on that map. It's very easy for a Terran on an even economy to just kind of draw the map in half, and Heromarine is actually one of the very best players at playing that super late game, like Ghost Liberator. Jimmy! Why do pro players do this to me? Oh my god. Me, specifically. Not everyone else, but also me. They probably use player colors, but they switch colors. Thankfully, it's not a mirror matchup. So Heromarine's in the blue, Elazer in the red. It looks like blue will be the color of, as we found in Clem versus Hure. Wait, that means... Don't judge them by their color, judge them by their race. Don't quote me on that. Oh my god. Anyways, as we learned in Clem versus Cure, red is for winners. So Elazer claims it. I think that was a pretty solid demonstration of what we can expect. Like, Elazer sidestepping Heromarines' cute pressure and his kind of bare bones harass and just punching him in the face. Like Heromarines over here with a bunker and 2 Reapers like dancing and prancing around, and Elazer just brings up a knee. And that is what I feel Zergs need to do. It's my internet. Oh no, he hit him so hard, even Big Gabe. The problem with his internet is because of the gravitational pull that he exerts on everything around him, he has to use satellite internet because satellites orbit him very easily. He can't actually use Ethernet. It's been an issue. That explains why German internet is so bad, right? Almost as bad as Comcast. We made it there. Thanks, Big Gabe. Where were we? Oh yeah, we were talking about Elazer and 3cc builds. I hadn't gotten to the 3cc part, but Terrans, I feel this is just the classic meta discussion. I have so many meta discussions. Where does it end? It doesn't, because we keep watching Starcraft because it's the best game. But Terrans have been a little greedy with the 3cc's lately. It's not quite ubiquitous. Like, it's not every game. But Maru, Heromarine, even Clem. Clem not as much, but even Clem. The majority of the games opening up with 3cc. And so we learned in Maru versus Rogue, when Rogue bullied Maru out of the GSL finals, like, if you don't build a Banshee, you die to roaches. Maru's like, but what if I built another tank? No. And then Rogue's like, what if I built 14 more roaches? You need the Banshee. If you don't get the Banshee, you die to roaches. If you do build the Banshee, you might die to roaches. But just, if you decide to try to sneak in the 3-2-1-1, and they do a well-timed roach push, odds are you're gonna have a bad day. Now, like, why is that balanced? Why is that fair? Well, if you scout it in time, you can easily get bunkers up. You can have a wall set up to defend. Like, Heromarine did not see it in time, so bad day. I think Heromarine agrees. This time around, 3cc, but a Banshee. It's a 3-1-1-1 this time. Covering all his bases. Not going to have the potential pressure that you might have with a couple medevac system Marines, but you're also covering a lot of your vulnerabilities. As roaches, and now this is true, don't shoot up. They should be able to attack other underground things like Widow Mines. Once they get tunneling claws, they should be able to do melee damage to Widow Mines underground. Why is there a Zergling in the base? I want to explore the Widow Mine burrow thing a little more. Yeah, there you go. That's how we deal with Widow Mines. Tunneling claws roaches can now melee them underground. I think that's fair. Only that specific scenario, though. Like, they have to run into each... The Widow Mine can't shoot because of interference. Good creep denial. So far, 3 creep tumors and 3 Zerglings have died this game. That's about it. This one's shaping up to be quite a macro game. Everyone's got everything they want. Elazer, 2 Evo chambers, please. Elazer, my good friend. Oh, he's going Mutas! Mutas! Wow, very... There's the Spire. We'll see if Heromarine can smell it in time, or see it. Is also another option, but oftentimes that's not as viable an option. So wow, a real commit to the Mutalisk. The Cloak Banshees, though, will get a cancel. They'll immediately rebuild it. Oh my god. Brandon! Ah! Why is this hatchery so large? It was named after you, Karen. Heromarine. Just getting the delay on the 4th is nice. And it's not a huge deal. But he kept the Banshees alive. A little bit of ring around the hatchery. And he slows down. Any sort of... When you're playing this Ling and Lisk style, you need larva. That's the limiting factor a lot of the time. Elazer has 82 drones. He's not going to be hurting for income. He's going to be hurting to actually spend his money on units. And also upgrades, which is real... It's actually quite concerning that he doesn't have any Evo chambers. He really wants these mutas to be a thing. He's leaning everything into the mutas and Bane speed. But his upgrades are going to be almost over an upgrade behind. And here comes Heromarine. The best defense is a good offense. And, well, here's some offense. There's a few Widow Mines at the back. Has to split. He doesn't even have Baneling speed, which not only gives the speed, but a little extra HP. The Marines standing their ground. Some of them in the red, but they're far from dead. Splitting back. Not quite Clem level. And the mutas will force it back. Widow Mines undercut a lot of the Lings. But without combat shield, many of these bruised Marines easily cleaned up by Lings and Banes. Reinforcements arrive. Banelings gunned down and mutas forced back. Heromarine, without missing a single beat, starts 2-2. Elazer doesn't even have 1-1. The mutas have not paid off. Those Marines, there's still that medevac to help them out. Combat shield about to complete. It's a second away. The Widow Mine takes a huge bite. Both sides taking huge hits out of the Widow Mines. The mutas will clean it up. Elazer sending in reinforcements, though. Another group of Marines and some of the survivors will group up. Heromarine at 68 SCVs, which is plenty enough to grind through. He's tearing apart the Queens. He's knocked back the creep. The muta count, which Elazer invested everything into, is non-existent. There are no mutas, which kind of defeats the purpose of mutas. And Heromarine, with a vengeance in Game 2, has had enough. Game 1, there you go. He shows him how it's done. It's a risk to go for the mutas. And risks sometimes do not pay off. I don't know what went wrong exactly for Elazer then. Like, it wasn't like he got forced into going for the mutas. But at the same time, they just didn't cut it at all. Heromarine will reclaim the red color, the color of victors, as is appropriate. Blue is for losers, apparently. I'm starting to think it's actually a thing now, okay? I don't, because players usually don't really care because they use their individualized player colors in-game. Watch my 1-minute video on that. But this is multiple series now where this has happened. All right. Nothing. No barracks out on the map. No pools being built. That was a sharp timing out of Big Gabe. That was textbook right there. Of 3 CC into Banshee and then with a bio follow-up. That Elazer did nothing to him. Not that Elazer was trying to. I'm just saying, like, when given the opportunity to essentially do a build order trainer. That's what happened. Silent. It's the quiet times that let us appreciate the drama and mass murder of later on in the game. Everybody's just building up, choosing their openers. Reaper gonna be the first conversation between the two. Will a Zergling die? Place your bets. Oh, he goes for the drones. Oh, the drone slips and slides, as it sometimes does when at an awkward angle. The queen pops out. Injects larva. Reaper pulls back. Elazer took his third. Outside the main triangle formation. The Reaper trying to outrange the queen and not succeeding. Wow. He really risked a lot there. He risked his life and the life of his only unit right now. But yeah, here, like, I guess he did a little damage to the queen, which will, by the time there's like, this is just something to use your APM on, okay? Right. He's gotten the build. He could almost literally do his build in his sleep here, so. As a significantly less skilled and accomplished StarCraft player, I'll tell you, like, sometimes, especially if you're doing, like, your standard build, you may be 6 minutes into the game without realizing how you got there. Especially if it is something like this, which is, this is the cookie cutter. Like, you got 3CC, Cloak, Banshee, Hellion. Terrans have been doing this for a decade. Oh, since 2010. Maybe 2011. In 2010, people never took another base. Partially because the maps were terrible. But by 2011, we kind of figured it out. And that's when Terran started going 3CC pretty regular. Of course, it took longer, because you start with half as many workers. I remember the drama of, like, we're going to start with 12 workers? No one will ever cheese anymore. Yeah. How did that work out? Four Hellions. A Reaper. Once again, a Creep Tumor, the only casualty so far. A Zergling. A crispy Zergling. No! God! It's that time again, everyone! How many times do we have to go through this? Alright, we're gonna try Hellbats again. Oh, it's a Flex Terran build. Would it be mech? I dare not dream. How many times do we have to try Hellbats? The last 7 times. Like, 2 of which were Heromarine. The thing is, I don't think this... It looks like mech. Smells like mech. Could it be? Build another factory. Do it for me, Gabe. No! God! These Terrans just flirting with mech so hard. We all knew it wasn't gonna be mech. Okay? He's just leading us on by building Hellbats and Cloak Banshees and 2 factories. No. Except this time, there's only, I say only, 8. Oh my god, watch out, drones. He's actually surprised. The Hellbats, in great enough number, they are dangerous if they can close the distance. Aren't there roaches somewhere? In the production tab. Okay. So the Hellbat's getting whittled down by the queens. A Banshee finding some... Meanwhile, on the other side, this happens every time. Every single game, especially Heromarine, is notorious for this. But, like, so that did almost nothing. This Banshee might find some damage. It's at 1 HP. But he lost 4 SCVs and lost all the... It doesn't, like... Why? Why? Explain why we do Hellbats. I don't... And now, here comes a counter push. And guess what Heromarine has? If you guessed... If you didn't guess, you'd be right. He has nothing. Like, what is that? How many times? I stand by it. Do Terrans want a buff? Okay, here's my proposed buff. Remove Hellbats. Remove the option for Hellbats. That's how we buff Terran. That 1 HP Banshee might help hold the line here, but there goes the third. Elazer gonna have total map control for a while. Like, just delete them. Just remove them from the game. Okay? That's my Terran buff. That way, the Terrans will no longer be tempted to build them. So the bright side of the double factory build is that Heromarine will have double tank production. So if there's anything to shut down a Queen Roach push, well, there you go. That one Banshee actually paying off now. Oh, he's gonna try to... The one Banshee existing is kind of a huge deal. Wow, this is a very bold land. He could easily walk over there and kill it with Ravagers. Heromarine with... Oh, he walled out. His SCVs are walled out. Oh, no. Okay, can we stop going? I'm done with the Hellbats. Every time. That's why you remember my reaction of, oh, no. Because they never do anything. They are a actively bad unit against Queens. Queen's the unit that Zerg, like the only unit Zergs make for the first 5 minutes. Did it help him get to the tank push or the tanks faster? I don't really think. Like, just build tech? I don't know. I'm not here to coach the arguably, okay, not the #1 Terran in Europe. The #2, the strongly runner-up Terran in Europe. Only because he allows Clem to occasionally win things, so that way Terran doesn't get nerfed. You don't have too many Terrans. The creep spread as good as you'd think it'd be with a Zerg player who walked Queens across the map. Elazer has 81 drones and is maxed out with an infestation pit, Hydra Den on the way, Lurkers on the horizon. Ugh. Hydra ups. Lurker Den should be starting already. There it is. Medevac drop heading out. Now here, Marine, a lot of tanks, which is good. A lot of tanks are going to be required here. What's happening? Oh, it just doesn't have that many drones. Oh, that's a lot of tanks. Vipers are going to be needed. Heromarine does have 2-2, but Elazer has it much quicker. I don't think you can bludgeon this. That's just too many tanks to stop. You can't attack in. Even though he has money in the bank, you need Vipers. Double-digit tanks, you need Vipers. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Well... We'll see if Elazer can make it happen. Heromarine never repaired the orbital until it was under attack again. Classic. Seismic spines and Vipers on the way as Elazer realizes he's going to need a little more range to match Heromarine's unit composition. So, it's not like Heromarine was in a terrible position after the Hellbat push. Well, it wasn't great, but it wasn't like he was going to roll over and die thanks to siege tanks. And Elazer was slowed down somewhat, and now he's kind of forced... I think he was going this direction anyways, but he's kind of forced into the Ravager Lurker composition, so he's going to have a clunkier army than if he had more Lings and Banes. Of course, Lurkers are quite scary, and Elazer is now expanding to what is arguably Heromarine's side of the map. Oh my god, does he go? Oh god, they have +1. The tanks, corrosive bios, but the bio army. 4 ghosts at a time. And now this is the ground on which Heromarine... Well, okay, let me rephrase. This is Heromarine falling into his comfort zone here. I don't know if he'd say he's comfortable with it, but I watch a lot of Terrans, okay? The top players with ghosts, in my opinion, are not Clem, not Maru, but historically TY, Heromarine, and Beyond has been very good. Like, there's an art to it. You know what? I'm thinking back to a Clem game I watched like just last week. Clem has gotten so good at everything. Okay. Heromarine just gunned down half a dozen of his own Marines. But I bet he'll just send SCVs across the map. He won't even allow the Marines the honor of a Valhalla. Yeah, Clem's amazing. Just ignoring Clem. TY probably the historically best ghost enjoyer. Even before they got their upgrade. Heromarine will gun down a squad of Marines, but if he just... I want to see him killing SCVs with his planetary. Okay, you need more army supply? You kill him yourself. That was the shortest trip. That was a domestic flight. You dropped from here to here. First class. Okay. The bio armies are still useful for mobility and for the threat of drops. Like, you can't... Your entire army can't be ghost. Just most of it. He's got 14 ghosts. Are there any infestors? Without infestors, there's no reliable way for stopping the ghosts from getting some snipes off. They do require about a second and a half without taking damage, but the fungal and or banelings is usually the choice for minimizing the ghost abuse demonstrated here. Technically, lurkers have the same range as ghosts, but ghosts have cloak. I'd be like, well, lurkers have burrow. Well, good thing Heromarine has a couple scans with his 7 orbitals. I'm pretty sure we're about the number where he has a scan at all times. Like, he could scan as his scans run out and just do that indefinitely. Now, like, we've very quickly, before either side lost even 10,000. Wow, there's only been 2,600 gas. That's barely one gas geyser of gas has been lost this game. That's insane. For 14 minutes with these armies, they really have danced around one another. There's going to be a long... Okay, popcorn, if you need to pause the video, now's the time. Because either Heromarine throws into lurkers, or we're in this for a while. Because this is the most comfortable, like, transition to late game I have seen in a long time. Usually they try to at least punch each other a few times before we get here. Heromarine has lost less than 1,000 gas. He has so much left to mine. I like hash browns, actually. Like, so... Speaking of scans, I didn't go to Costco. I actually accidentally ordered 5 cartons of hash browns about like a year ago. A year and a half. When the quarantine started. Because, you know, like, you need hash browns. Little did I know it was 5, like, packs of 12. No, wait. Was it No, it was 5 times 5 packs of 12. Anyway, so I ended up with, like, 180 or so things of hash browns. I'm about halfway through. Yeah. And that's why I'm so salty. But the end result was I messed up some numbers somewhere. And it was so cheap. It was like $40. Like, you could buy Idaho for $112, I'm pretty sure. It was not a lot. It was less than Legacy of the Void Collector's Edition. It's so tasty. It's definitely not good for you. Right? But my blood pressure's already high enough because of Twitch chat, so... So anyways, get your hash browns. The game will probably still be here when you're done with them. Usually I just, like, I put some... It says you gotta cook them with a skillet, but I haven't yet met a food that couldn't be, enjoyed from a microwave, so... Skillet, okay. You think I have any sort of skills? I like them nice and moist and soft. Alright? I like my hash browns soft. Make them nice and soft for me. Meanwhile, this drop, not gonna end well. You know, you don't have time to cook things in a skillet when you spend an hour watching a single TVZ all day. All right? Well, that's 1/24th of a day, but what am I, Jack Bauer? Can't do all this. So, don't judge me. You're here right now. You didn't cast this series. Enjoying your hash browns. Mouth full. This is a late game production tab. We got Infestor, Viper, Neural Parasite, air upgrades, nuclear launch detected. Wait, I gotta find the. Okay, there we go. Get the camera location. Does a laser see it? Is a nuke gonna land? Meanwhile, Heromarine winning a fight. The nuke lands! Tags an Infestor as well. There you go. Now we've reached the late game. Oh, 2 lurkers. That's a micro. Oh, don't get in that one. So, we've still only... So, for reference, each StarCraft base, between the minerals having... are there any almost untouched minerals? 1,800 and then 900. It works out to... 936. It's like 20,000 minerals per... Wait. Okay, so there are 4 patches of 1,800 minerals. 7,200 minerals, and then 4 patches of 900 minerals, 3,600 minerals, which is, so, then you have, ignore that, you have 10, no. You got 10,000, and somebody do the math. You got 11,000, I don't know. Anyways, both these players have lost essentially less than a base of resources. 10,800 minerals and 4,500 gas a base. So, Elazer just finally lost his first base of gas. Rarely do we do math like this, because usually the game doesn't go quite that, like, much as a chess match. But here we are. Anyways.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
So here's how this oftentimes goes. Elazer started with more map control, so he can try to abuse that and deny bases out of Heromarine. The thing is, Heromarine has 28 ghosts. And unless Elazer is the next Bill Murray and he starts ghost busting all over the place, those ghosts will continue to trade effectively. They can outrange, they have nukes, everything ghosts do is amazing. Even their auto attack is great. Their auto attack just melts Lings and Banes, which are the only things you don't really want to snipe. How did this ghost get back here? Elazer, a little busy on the other side. Like, you don't expect that. Now you have 17 less drones. Not that that's another one! Okay, now he's actually bringing back a lot of lurkers here, so... It's just... We've seen games, though, where the amount of nukes actually just gets too high. Okay, wait, great fungals, yanks, and a few. Some ghosts going down to various things here. The detection, okay, more snipes on all sides. Snipes, broodlords, splash damage across the board. The liberation, the Venn diagram of freedom creates a no man's land, which the Zerg cannot cross, but the Liberators themselves somewhat vulnerable. Another round of snipes. Detection, sniped out. There is an Overseer at the back. The fungal will reveal. He needs to continue chaining the fungals. The ghosts are almost out of energy. The queens as well. Spellcasters on both sides. He's actually doing a great job against the ghosts, killing a lot more ghosts than I expected. The Liberators have been cleared out. The unsung heroes, the Corruptors. Suddenly, the defense is broken. There aren't enough snipes to stop the broods. The lurkers close the distance. The broodlord siege continues. And with no energy and no cloak, the lurkers and the broodlords, Heromarine is forced off of his third. What an engagement out of every single Zerg spellcaster used there. Do not disrespect Elazer. That is incredibly hard to do. Infestors, Vipers, and Queens had their part to play on top of the Corruptor Broodlord army, and suddenly Heromarine has gone from what is a war of attrition to fighting for his life. The ghost struggling, the amount of Broodlords, the orbital down, and Heromarine doesn't have a bank to salvage much of this. He's fighting heads up. The Corruptors, oh my god, so many upgrades. There are no ship weapons, but there is +2 mech armor against +2/+3 Corruptors. I don't know why there are 4 ghosts over here. 32 SCVs have fallen. Heromarine scratching out some minerals from the top left. a incredibly impressive engagement out of Elazer. Heromarine, I think, got a little cocky with the ghosts. Usually, and I will say usually, a Terran with that many ghosts has trouble losing. But you still have to take the right fights. And Heromarine tried to just essentially mono-battle ghosts with a few liberators. It didn't pan out. Elazer sidestepped him. That's a lot of broodlords. Elazer has reached the feudal age. 18 broods. With +2, +3, and then +3 melee. That's nearly full upgrades on both flavor, like both the broodlord attack and the broodlings. Heromarine is, he still has 120 army supply. There's a lot of Zerg down here. Can Big Gabe pull this one back? You know when I said get your popcorn? Hopefully you put it in the microwave and not the oven like some sort of, because it might not be done in time. I don't know how ovens work, alright? Marine drop counterattack desperation. Is detection gone? There's no detection here, awkwardly. If he can kill the corruptors, that's a tall order. Another base went down. Heromarine scrambling. That's so many broods. He's still got 15. Oh! Ho, ho! Double fungal! That infestor may take the game out. Oh, there's more! The infestor control. Not enough, though. He staggers some ghosts. The snipe's gonna cut into the brood count. Despite everything. Heromarine not giving it up quite yet, but he's running out of options. Another round of lurkers. Elazer still has enough in the bank to replenish. What does Heromarine have? Nothing. I think everyone thought that that was going to go ultra late game. But Elazer just with a impressively executed push. I have not seen something that, like, you're not supposed to be able to push that. But Elazer showing us how it's done. Yeah, Heromarine maybe stepped a little far forward with the ghost, but still. Incredible control. That is not easy to do. It looks super strong, but it is not easy. Alright. And so I can afford next month's hash browns. It's time for a quick advertisement. I will be right back. Hey everybody, I'm Winter, and I'm here to talk to you about Prime Gaming. Do you have Amazon Prime? No? Get out. Otherwise, Amazon Prime, the most exciting way to get all the impulse buys, food, entertainment, and now gaming-oriented things that you've ever wanted. Maybe you could buy a toaster oven or something. I don't know. But also, you can get free stuff at gaming.amazon.com. Gaming.amazon.com. Have you checked it out this month? Because if not, you're missing out on exciting things. Like, do you like dabbing? Well, do you like Sea of Thieves? There's probably a bit of a crossover there. Now you can do that in Sea of Thieves with Prime Gaming. Also, but wait, there's more. Did you know every month for free you can subscribe to a streamer of your choice, or even me? And every single moment, don't think about it, do it right now. I don't care. Am I streaming? Can you even tell? Is this a rerun? Has Winter ever been live? Well, does it really matter in the end? Because with Prime Gaming, you can subscribe for free. And if you don't do it right now, you're essentially losing money for me. So subscribe with Prime Gaming or else. Because remember, with Amazon Prime, we know where you live. Also, on YouTube, like and subscribe so that way the AI overlords that will eventually replace humanity know what we want. And you can check out my... Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Bye. Thank you guys for sticking around. Match point. Elazer showing an impressive display of how to dismantle the Ghost Liberator Army. Just wow. So that's how you do it. So easy. Elazer, though, unable to claim the victorious red color. And this changes everything. The whole dynamic. We will see. After all of this. I really thought that game... On paper, that game should have gone so much... Like, we weren't... That game was supposed to mine out. Everything pointed towards it. Both players maxed, banking, endgame armies. We're supposed to be at an impasse. But I guess Infestor Broodlord is back, baby. Ah, yes. The good old days. No, I can't stress how difficult that was to pull off. Everything had to line up. So now Elazer. Oh. Heromarine, only victory so far with a sharp timing that honestly Elazer probably would have admitted he was playing quite greedy for. Will Heromarine try a 3-2-1-1 again? Will Elazer bring out the Roach Warren? Will I ever learn to cook without a microwave? Some of these questions will be answered by the end of this. Not all. Heromarine adding on the second gas before a third CC. Points towards Banshee again. One flavor or another. The classic Reaper exchange. He got 0 kills, but emotional damage was dealt. And look at that. That queen. Get up! Ah! Ah! They just look so unhappy. Whenever that Reaper being annoying. Heromarine trying to maximize that. Starport on the way. It looks like we will have 3 CC, but with the Banshees to follow it up. Reaper strongly discouraged from continuing its activities. Oh, wow. Vas's Das. A Liberator. Interesting. It's been a while since we've seen this variety. Definitely a new flavor here. The Liberator is, it's not like a super wild choice. It's also quite expensive, but it potentially... Well, it usually will keep the Zerg at home for a while. There's no Roach Warren on the way. It's a bit of a safer option and a less micro-intensive one than a Banshee. I'm not actually sure what he intends to do with it. There's the third CC, but a little later than usual. More racks on the way. Not sure if Elazer spotted the Liberator, but he's got 6 queens and counting, so he's not going to be ill-prepared. No spores built. Just now adding 1 at the natural and main. And he doesn't know it's a Liberator. I doubt he'd be building the Spore in the middle of the mineral line. Probably expecting that Banshee. Or at least hedging his bets. Is that a wall? You can use a grenade to get by it, but there's probably some Zerglings behind, as he knows. Engineering base. It looks like another Muda build. I'm not sure. But the Liberator definitely catching a laser off guard. He's going to lose. And drone, get forced away. Of course, there is the Spore, so we have to do the awkward turn-based dance of siege, unsiege, burrow, unburrow. The other Spore already preemptively moved into position. Here we go again. All right. I don't know. I forget the theme of Scooby-Doo, but imagine that right now. My similarly aged friends. Maybe slightly older. I don't know. The drones dodging into the extractor, somewhat unintentionally, but conveniently. And now we see why Liberators are no longer the anti-air choice. They used to be the choice against everything in the early Legacy of the Void, but now they have minimal anti-air damage except in large numbers because maybe having one unit counter everything wasn't the ideal. And then the Queen exists. So... fourth base for a laser. He's got 1-1. He did add those Evo Chambers, so not Mudas this time around, at least not early. Wants to compete on the upgrades. Heromarine with about a minute advantage. And now 2 medevacs. Stim. This isn't actually 1-1, it's just Heromarine putting himself out there. And if he can get set up before Baneling speed, if he can force a fight and delay or cancel this... Now, Elazer's making 3 hatcheries at once, so... he's not going to be hurting too much for larva, which is the big danger here. Even if this base doesn't make it, he'll have options. Baneling speed, 10 seconds out. The Queen should be able to hold until then. A painful hold, but a necessary one. Baneling speed's done. Lings and Banes looking for an opportunity. 15 seconds now on Heromarine's upgrades. Elazer not giving him the chance. Tanks get huge hits on the Banes, but the Lings close the distance. And meanwhile, oh god, this is such... This is so common for Heromarine. I don't know why I noticed for him specifically. I don't know if it's unique to him, but once again, really pressing the issue on an attack, loses 10 SCVs at home to, I think, Banelings, but there was something at the third, and 10 SCVs went down. Now, Elazer doesn't have that much army supply, and until 1-1 is done in a few seconds, he's going to struggle to compete. Heromarine did see those Zerglings from by. There's a reason Elazer double expand. He needs to essentially hedge his bets. He knows that likely this base is going to be under a lot of... Oh my god, not again. There is no wall at the third. Heromarine splitting, stimming, not watching his third, and Elazer just eviscerates it. 15 more SCVs, and that is critical damage. The first one wasn't so bad, but the second round is unacceptable, and now... He killed it so efficiently that there were more Banelings than there were needed to kill SCVs. And suddenly Heromarine is down 20 workers. He's on the back foot. He didn't have an armory. This was almost an all-in on 1-1. Baneling sending Marines away from the map. Elazer now with all those hatcheries brought to bear, continually sending Zerglings. The orbital itself. Heromarine does manage to lift it, but at what cost? A heavy one. It's too much. Elazer can just hold down with multi-variety links. Now this is one way to drag it back. A couple Liberators. It's been a while since we saw this. The hatchery barely intact. The problem is, while these Liberators do their work, The Banelings take a more active role, crashing into SCVs, the worker count plummeting. Even though Elazer taking a little damage at home, he's dealing out multiple times over on the other side. Heromarine forced into his main. The third base burns. The SCV's obliterated. The supply desperate. Liberator's not enough. Spore Crawler. That orbital will be repaired, but at what cost? He surveys what's left, and it's not enough. Elazer with a strong, decisive performance, both in the late and the mid game, and the early game. Game 1. Elazer the better player in this series. Heromarine doesn't stack up. A great series out of Elazer. Like, there are some... I like to think I'm a relatively honest commentator. Sometimes the games are bad, but the better player wins. Sometimes the games are good, and the better player wins. And this time, they both played well, but Elazer played better. He found the weaknesses, and he played his strengths. And that's all you can ask. I'll ask one more thing, though. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. If you enjoy the Shopify ESL Pro Tour and all the other games and videos. Thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun. Stay tuned.